Public Q&A presents AskReddit question. You can't time travel, but your phone has the internet from 5 years in the future. What do you search for first? Lottery numbers, stock prices, my name. You may ask why my name, but it's very simple, as I then can learn if I died until then or got caught for some shit, and are still in prison. Edit. Whoa, I didn't expect anything. Many thanks for the awards and upvotes. Nikki Dino 8 won the lottery in 2021, made brilliant investments in the stock market between 2021 and 2024. Sadly, they were murdered during a home invasion gone wrong in their new house in late 2024. Be careful what you wish for. Edit. Thanks for my first awards. This is exactly what I was thinking, lol. I would do it in this order. Name, stock lottery name again. This would indicate if the future is deterministic or not. Does anything about your future change after you learned about future financials? And also ensure you maximize your earnings in the event that lottery winnings and stock markets may affect each other. This is all assuming, if the future is not deterministic, that events in the present instantly propagate into the future, rather than like in the Journeyman project where there's a reality distortion field that takes time to propagate outward from the changed event. Cure for type 1 diabetes. Doctors have been saying it's 5 years away for a while now. I was diagnosed 8 years ago, and they were saying it back then too. 26 years. Said it then too. 47 years ago. Hey op, cherish 2015 while you can. Okay. Sound advice. Go save Haram. The boy was a fake. He was sent back by Skynet. A Terminator would have been too obvious, so they sent a boy knowing we'd protect him over Haram. This all started with Haram. Betty White and Keith Richards. I assume they'll both be alive, but I want to know for sure. I am fairly certain the Rolling Stones have been Weekend at Bernie's in Keith Richards for the past 4 or 5 years. I am pretty sure he embalmed himself with cigarettes, but forgot to die first, so now he's immortal. They didn't need to. Haven't you heard what cigarettes do to you? Each cigarette anyone smokes takes a minute off their life, and that minute is given to Keith Richards. Biggest crisis in the last 5 years. That'd be depressing. What the fuck are flying COVID-22 spiders? You know that shit come from Australia, too. Wouldn't even need to look it up. The Kanga flow. This but scorpions. This but scorpions. Well, that makes me both terrified and aroused. COVID-21. COVID-22 electric boogaloo. 2COV2VID. COVID-22. Beijing drift. Imagine it simply says the year 2020. That's incredibly optimistic. Or pessimistic. Whatever disaster comes next has stopped new internet history and posts for the next 5 years. I would search to see if The Winds of Winter has been published yet. Sadly, op said 5 years into the future only. The death of the author within that time frame is actually very realistic though. I have actually given up going past book 2 of the series because I can't stand the idea of the story not getting finished and being completely unsatisfied with Game of Thrones again. Book 3 is the best. Or Doors of Stone. I would expect WoW before that. Rothfuss editor, the president of DAW Books, I believe, took the highly unusual step to publicly call out Rothfuss, saying she hasn't seen a single word from Doors of Stone, and that she doesn't have any evidence to think that he's even started it. I can't imagine the level of frustration that had been building up to lead her to do that. Martin, on the other hand, has probably scrapped and rewritten WoW 2 or 3 times by now. Sadly, I suspect in 5 years, we will still be waiting for both of these books. Those are the 2 main books I am looking forward to the most. I feel like I have put myself into a position for a lot of pain. Just start reading Sanderson instead. At this rate, Stormlight will finish before Azoth. Search results. 20 blog posts from GRRM about how he's locked himself away to finish writing, tweet from his editor that she has received a draft, pre-orders open, then GRRM announces there's too much content, and he's splitting each remaining book into 2 more books. The first one will release within a year, and the second one will be close behind, don't worry. Gore Martin 2024. 10 years later. I don't have a magic future phone, but I can answer that for you. No. All sports betting wins of the last 5 years. I don't need them all, I just need the biggest upsets. No. Just need a group of 11. 11-team parlays offer odds of about 1,233. 1. Take out a sketchy cash loan of $10,000, make the bet, and you won $12 million. Why not just look up the Powerball lottery numbers and then bet a large chunk of money from your lottery win on those odds, and then disappear into obscurity while making money off the stock market passively? I mean, you could do that. I wonder what a bookie would say if you asked for a $1 million bet on an 11-team parlay, lol. I am sure they would say no on the off chance it's right, and now they're out $2 billion. Yep, I would go for a 3-1 bet first to get some funds, and then get lucky on an accumulator. No one would even assume foul play. I would just find the biggest championship upset, dress like a super fan of the winning team, get convincingly drunk, and drop my life savings on them. Should have a decent payout, which becomes my seed money for 5 years worth of very smart angel investing in tech startups. Okay, Biff Tannen. What up? McFLYYYYYY. I would start a blog on my PC, and then switch to my phone to check if it now has updates from the future. If so, my future self could talk to my present self. I could read about my mistakes and try to avoid them. If a post disappears, that would mean that I did it right. Reminds me of a story I read where a character can use short-range time travel as long as he doesn't meet himself. And he needs to open a combination lock. So he thinks to himself, here's what I'll do. I'll try the combination 0 to 0 to 0 to 0. If it works, I'll write good job, the combination is 0 to 0 to 0 to 0 on a piece of paper, otherwise I'll write nope, try 0 to 0 to 0 to 1. Then I'll go back to this morning and open my closet, and slip the note into the pocket of these pants I put on this morning. So now I can check my pocket for a note, and if the note starts with nope, then I'll try the combination it suggests, and then write a new note with that combination plus 1, and send it back the same way. Logically, I'll only have to go back and try it at most 2 times. The other copies of me will be unaware that they're stuck in a time loop until we finally guess the right combination. Therefore I'll check my pocket now, and logically the note should say good job, and have the correct combination, otherwise I'll wind up erasing my memory of having the wrong combination when I change the past. So he reaches into his pocket and pulls out a note, and it is recognizably his own handwriting, but twisted and somehow agonized looking. And the note has water damage, soot smudges, and little drops of blood. And all it says is don't fuck with time. So he abandons that plan, and just blasts the lock off. I would like to read this story. What's it called? Harry Potter and the Method of Rationality, which has very mixed reviews. It can be a blast, or very, very irritating, or both. Oh my god, I read parts of that when I was younger. I loved it at first but just didn't keep up with it. Where can I find that book? Here you go. I didn't write it and make no guarantees as to quality or your enjoyment of the story. Oh shit, almost 2K pages but in a pretty big font. Serial novels tend to run on and on. The pacing and expectations are different. The expected reading pace is 1 to 3 chapters a week. This is especially relevant if you're expected to read just about any of the works of Charles Dickens, which were published weekly and needed to fill a word quota. This is actually a really cool idea. You're really thinking outside the box, mate. Nintendo Directs. Then I'll make predictions for a lot of things Nintendo will do, but I'll phrase it in an increasingly implausible way. After a few directs, people will hopefully catch on and start believing everything I say. After 5 years, assuming I can't look into the future again, I'll start making random shit up, and watch the internet argue about my predictions. Surely this can't be real, but his track record is impeccable. Brilliant, imagine the Smash character leaks. How could you forget Gatekeeper? We need Gatekeeper. I don't think I'd even want to look up Nintendo Directs, because if I knew everything in the next 5 years, before it's announced, the wait for everything would feel so long. How close are we to be able to go to Mars? News headline from 2025. NASA plans to return to the moon in 2029. Ugh. Perpetually always 4 years out. Return to the Moon by George R.R. Martin. Isn't NASA putting more astronauts in space? I don't remember if it's Mars, but they're doing something 2024. Yup, the Artemis mission to the moon. Stock prices in 2025, save up to buy a share. Profit. That's how you get Van Damned. The guy from Bloodsport and Timecop is going to kick my ass. That's actually kind of awesome. No, the real deal would be getting to see the price history of a stock rather than just its price in 5 years. That way you can make options plays and make YAAI more money than you ever would just buying stocks. Yeah, knowing the exact movements of every single stock for the next 5 years would be absolutely insane. Even with minimal initial capital, say a few $100, you could be an options millionaire in less than 6 months. Give me the exact daily closing prices of the S&P for the next week, and I'll hit $1 million from $1,000 easily. Leverage from futures options is insane, and there's enough volume on the OR-ES that my trades wouldn't move the needle until I got up to $1 billion in the following week. Yep. Won't be as suspicious as betting on sports or winning the lottery 10 times. Get super rich the legit way. Honestly, if you won one single lotto for $500 mil, would you play again? How much money would you need? I wouldn't want, hire a bodyguard or celebrity status. Let me spend money in private. Even if you split a jackpot with the original person that was supposed to win, you still walk away with half. So you get $250 MIL. Then taxes. Let's say you walk away with $125 MIL. I really don't need more than that and would probably give away at least half anyway. Basically, win the lottery once and use it to make money on the stock market and other investments. This would be my strategy. If I won $1 million, I would give a quarter of it to charity. Not sure what I would do with the other $999. 75. I personally would not, but people tend to get greedy. 2020 election results, LOL. Hopefully doesn't turn your LOL to COL. 2024 election results. Google. Bongarubizkistico's real name. 2024 presidential candidates. Ivanka Trump R. Jimmy Carter's corpse D. He won the primaries to Bernie Sanders. I know he's 95, but if Jimmy Carter dies in the next 4 years, I am blaming you. I would try to be like Bill Maher's character by the end of Groundhog Day. Find out if there's any needless deaths from preventable accidents that I may be able to change. Obviously, I would have won the lotto too. This would give me plenty of resources and free time to become a local superhero. Edit. Based on the show Early Edition from the 90s. The only problem I could see with this scenario would be people trying to understand your selection process, like why did you save her from a car accident that day? My son was in a car accident only 2 miles away, why didn't you save him? It certainly would turn as the rescues started to rack up. The other issue is the butterfly effect. The future will change based on or you or Meg Lamory's actions. Those changes compound themselves until the future looks nothing like what OP has foreseen. The surest things to be changed are things that happen nearly at random, such as car accidents. If so-and-so left their house 10 seconds later, the drunk driver would have hit a telephone pole instead of so-and-so, for example. So all the predictions would quickly be rendered inaccurate. Well, yes, but also, OP didn't specify what the phone's capabilities are, so I would like to believe that it would change based on actual changes in time. That could be kind of like Ziggy from Quantum Leap. The newspaper from Early Edition also updated. Minecraft Cave Update. And then you find out that they've changed like every aspect of Minecraft for the better. Except for caves. They're still boring. Even worse, you get no specifications on how they turned out, only that they exist, and you still have to wait that time. Not necessarily, you're using the internet, just download the latest version so you could theoretically play with the people in the future. As long as it doesn't require Windows 11. But I suppose you could download that as well. Could I order the next-gen PC parts at that point to be delivered to my place? It would be delivered to your place in 5 years. They update it by removing lava and mushrooms and grass and bats and water caves and mineshafts. Get that classic, barren feel. Bitcoin price history. November 21, 2021 $126,000. $126,000. Sounds about right. Are you my portfolio? Lottery numbers the last 5 years. Easy peasy. Week 1. Buy a ticket, win the lottery. Week 2. Buy a ticket, publicly post the winning numbers 3 minutes before the draw. Week 3. Publicly post the winning numbers 2 days in advance. Watch as everyone buys tickets with those numbers, wins the jackpot, then gets less than the value of their ticket as the prize pool is split between everyone. They do something similar in Peaky Blinders with a racehorse, only in their plan the horse loses the 3rd race. So you would give fake numbers in week 3, and your winnings will be higher. I fucking love Peaky Blinders. Stopped watching after season 4, is it still good? I think so. They get a lot more into politics and high power than the usual street dirt, and some people don't like it because it's not as much violence and such. But I loved it because it shows how once you have enough money and power, you run out of ways to grab more unless it's in politics. And that politicians are way more gangster than the real gangsters. They are getting into the more big leagues mafia territory. It's a natural progression. Agreed. It's been fun seeing Tommy turn from a street thug to a serious gangster. They fucked with Billy Kimber and proved that in fact, he does not run the races. Week 4. Get f***ing beat to death. After posting the correct winning numbers a week or two in a row, you'd probably be arrested on suspicion of fraud. Start looking up bond performance stats for penny stocks. Generally anything that gets you money through luck. Well, I went to Reddit and found this post. Hello from 2015. You couldn't have given us a heads up a couple of years ago. That is Bill Gates' alternate Reddit account. He did warn us with a TED Talk in 2015. Hell, even the Pentagon saw it coming. In a report published in early 2017 right before Inauguration Day, the Pentagon was warning the White House of a possible novel virus, more specifically coronavirus, as the biggest national security threat. The White House ignored. Here is the original report that broke the story. Web address. Despite President Trump's repeated assertions that the COVID-19 epidemic was unforeseen and came out of nowhere, the Pentagon was not just well aware of the threat of a novel influenza but even anticipated the consequent scarcity of ventilators, face masks, and hospital beds, according to a 2017 Pentagon plan obtained by The Nation. The most likely and significant threat is a novel respiratory disease, particularly a novel influenza disease, the military plan states. The document specifically refers to coronaviruses on several occasions, in one instance saying, coronavirus infections are common around the world. Edit. Shameful plug inbound, scroll to next paragraph. If you want to avoid reading a desperate minuscule YouTuber's plea, if you have read this far, consider checking out this video I made on some academic studies that show what increases the threat of future pandemics. I don't feel good about posting this, truly I don't. It's hard making the videos I do, because in regards to news, mainstream media has been elevated on YouTube, and small media tubers like me are eternally screwed by the algorithm. Edit 2. Virologists and zoologists have been studying and sounding the alarm on coronaviruses since the SARS pandemic in the early 2000s. They say there's an estimated 1.4 million zoonotic viruses in mammals in the wild. The more we encroach on their habitat, the higher the risk for another novel outbreak. The more a changing climate pushes these mammals into human-populated areas, the higher chance of a novel outbreak. The more forest we tear or let burn down, well, you get the point. Go to the Cincinnati Zoo in May 28, 2016. And make sure your dick is out. As the prophecy says. Man, that feels like 15 years ago, not 4. Lotto numbers, sports results, stock market stats. Who said future and options are risky? I always wonder about the stock market ones. Fair enough buying options I suppose, but if you took an early large equity stake in Google using knowledge of the future, would you be running the risk that your large stake might have otherwise gone to a future board member who would have then gone on to impact Google's value positively? GTA 6 release date. GTA V Remastered 2 will be out by then. Skyrim will be ported to the TV in your GTA V apartment too. Nah, Microsoft bought them to prevent more random appliance Skyrim. What if they're going to start installing Skyrim with every Windows purchase and on every Xbox? Elder Scrolls 6 gameplay. You mean Skyrim for the Samsung fridge? Grays. Sports. Almanac. Oolala. Oolala. Besides the obvious lottery, election, myself, etc., I would want to see if opera made a comeback after the pandemic, or if the virus was the final nail in the coffin of this art form, which has been slowly headed towards its demise for decades now. Edit. I should have said here that I am a huge opera fan, and I hope I am wrong. And I am not talking about the web browser. L.A. Opera generally draws a big crowd, at least the times I have attended. I have sat all the way in the back when that was all I could get. Lots of season ticket holders. I search porn to see if the industry has gotten over its step-family obsession. Yes, but they only drop the step part. The family that lays together stays together. The family that fucks together stucks together. It's the getting stuck part that starts it usually anyway. Top 10 unintended consequences of long-term lockdown. You won't believe what's at 1. Actually, they drop the siblings part and just fuck stares. What are you doing, step robot? Beep BOOP initiating anal protocol. Please stand clear of the splash zone. Hee beep BOOP. It's kind of fascinating how porn has fads, right? I remember whenever porn was like, my fridge or sink or computer is broke. Let me call a repairman. Or just when they had needless story. Now it's like, hey, you're my stepmom. Let's bang in the shower. I got dumped by my girlfriend. But my stepmom offered me a handy to ease my broken heart. Then she hot turned on by my remarkable step penis, and I put it in every hole she has. Astounding writing, truly. What are you doing, step stool? Ghislaine Maxwell suicide date. My name and obituary. If I get more searches. 2020-2024 election results. COVID vaccine FDA approval parent company. TSLA, Goog, APPL, Facebook prices. You've given this a lot of thought. I think we've discovered a time traveler. 2020 election was my first thought too. Easy. Stock market. And not tell any fucking one. Unless AskReddit. Like a fax from future me. Do not drink that coffee. Dank memes from the future so I can pre-repost them for that sweet karma. I am going to go all subreddit them and keyspa on you and say that when you post those dank memes, you get minimal karma. But the person who reposts your stolen future memes gets the karma, which is who you steal them from in the future. Christopher Nolan wants to know your location. Dankception. But then those memes won't be dank anymore in 5 years. You'd effectively be changing the course of history by pre-posting memes. Templates. Where we are going, we don't need templates. Find out when the coronavirus was eradicated and invest in stocks accordingly. It took 181 years to eradicate smallpox, post-vaccine. I'll write all the future match results. And I'll use it on the lottery, and I'll make money with it. Queen Elizabeth. If there were more searches available, then probably see which countries still exist as they are now. See how COVID-19 played out. Memes so I can make an accurate this is a meme from the future. Then see what are the biggest breakthroughs of science in the last 5 years, probably at least medicine and energy. Also obviously lottery numbers or something. My son to make sure he's still alive. He's chronically suicidal and should be on his own by then. I worry about it. I came here to be a smartass, but this resonates with me. For what it's worth, I still do with suicidal ideations and severe depression since I was 10, and didn't ever expect to see 20. I am 35 now. Still a fight at times, but therapy and meds have helped tremendously. As have the support subs for mental illness here on Reddit. There is help out there if he's inclined. For me, just knowing there are people I can count on helps a lot. Just being able to vent is all I need from friend and family, and psych helps with the heavier stuff. Best wishes for y'all. Dr. Tracy Marks is a psychologist with an educational YouTube page regarding mental health I found from one of the support subs that has helped me tremendously get a frame of reference for things. Going to link the first thing I come across as an easy access to her page. Web address. Again, best wishes. I can only imagine how hard this is from that side of the table. Edit. I appreciate the gestures of the awards, and was honestly a bit overwhelmed at the RESP once at first. I have no clue what to do with access to premium, and am just as likely to get lost in my art and forget I have it until after it expires. I would say save it for those who you know are into that kind of thing. Not intending to seem ungrateful, just feels like a bit of a waste on me. Thanks again, and always remember there is help out there. Took me 6 months of searching and then 1 hour after initial contact to get an appointment with a psychologist once I found someone appropriate. Hee, I don't normally post as subs with such large followings and forgot I wasn't speaking to just one person, but glad if anything I said helped others. Going to leave with a paraphrase Jello Biafra quote, take care of your community and each other. 10. Wow, that's so young. You seem to be doing so well now, and you should be proud you've come so far. Any advice on what to say to a youngster who might be going through something similar? What would you have wanted or needed to hear when you were 10? For me, I think I needed to be heard, and to get away from the toxic family life I was dealing with. Stepdad had some narcissistic tendencies that could be brutal to cope with. Still managing that now. I think finding a good therapist and me coming to terms with the fact that I needed medication were major factors. Only in the last month have I really accepted that some meds are better than others, and I might have to have a rough run on a few meds that don't work out until I find one that does. The Reddit support groups here are an amazing resource for realizing it's not just me, others are struggling too, and reading some success, and some horror stories off meds, become manic. Total a car for states away they were unscathed in the accident really drove home how important proper treatment is. Cognitive behavioral therapy has done wonders for giving me a better frame of reference and building coping skills for upcoming episodes and avoiding others. The way it was explained to me was our actions affect our thoughts, which affect our moods, which affect how we feel. Much like the fire triangle: heat, fuel, oxygen, you adjust or remove one part of that, and the fire or crisis can't continue. It's sometimes adjusting my thinking, not letting little things cause me to rage out, sometimes adjusting my mood music, or switching songs, relax and shower ECT, or leaving the stressful or depressing situation. Whichever of those three I can do something about, doesn't matter which, can help mitigate some of the worst of it. Finding hobbies to occupy my time helped a lot. I might be depressed and isolate, but I would spend hours on the guitar or bass or drawing or reading. Sometimes I couldn't and had to learn that's okay too. Creative outlets of any kind can be an amazing way to get control of the thoughts in your head, or just give you something else to focus on for a bit. Wasn't until I found the Reddit group that I realized how important community is. I can't always help myself, but I can share my experiences with others and not feel so lost or worthless. Was on an art sub when someone informed me that my feedback was very useful, and it helped me realize I have more merits than I can give myself credit for at times. Exercise and diet play a huge role in not feeling terrible, though I struggle with that. I inadvertently took labor jobs or jobs where what I thought was ADHD was a positive and could stay active that way. Skateboarding and BMX riding were my other physical outlet when I was younger, 13, late 20s. And a good therapist also helped a lot. Mental illness run in my family, so by my late 20s it became very clear that I couldn't do this on my own. And if I tried, I had good examples of where that path lead. I think having a caring support system and finding treatment are the biggest first steps, as well as realizing one needs help, and that needing that help doesn't make you weak. I often refer to it as an emotional cancer. It's not suicide. It's a high mortality rate if left untreated. You're not going to beat lung cancer by getting over it, nor can you do the same for psych issues. Not everyone needs meds for life. Some can use the meds to manage the worst often symptoms, and then use therapy to help build coping skills to navigate around the issues associated with our condition. Some of us do need meds for life. Is it a picnic? No. But neither is endless despair. Between the two, I'll take being twitchy over being despondent. The hardest part is there's no magic button, it's work. But nothing in life of value is ever easy, and like I remind myself and my support community, we have value and are worth that effort. Sorry for this wall of text, I am a bit verbose. Lurking on the Reddit depression support subs can be helpful. Beware the anti-psych subs, most are people who are misled, or have had a few terrible experiences, and I can't say I blame them for their mistrust, but that's not the whole of psychology. Yes, I have had terrible doctors, but I have also had amazing ones as well. Good luck, it's a tough road, but one that is possible to navigate. It's not suicide. It's a high mortality rate if left untreated. You're not going to beat lung cancer by getting over it, nor can you do the same for psych issues. Wow. This alone puts it in perspective. Thank you. Thank you. I have also struggled with suicidal ideation and attempts a very long time ago. I am 40 and the depression, anxiety, and thoughts are there, but my son is the center of my universe. We finally found the right meds for him, but he despises therapy. I am hoping that will change with time. I would really like him to try CBT or DBT, but he won't. Thankfully, he has found some online friends that support him. I'll check out your link after I have had a chance to sleep more. I am happy to hear that you've found and accepted help. I wish you happiness in life. If I had unlimited searches, I would probably look up the Reddit front page first. There's a lot of information in there that would give a good general explanation about that time period. And from there on I could search up anything that seems interesting while already having some context. You could post all the memes before they had been posted. Bold of you to assume, well, make it another 5 years. This guy has the phone. He knows. Wow. You are still with us. Thanks for being such a nice person. As long as you are here, why not like this video and subscribe to our channel? Also, you can press the bell icon, so you won't miss any future uploads.